Robert and Mary, and Robert has just very graciously bought that book for $50. Recently bought a property in Sandy Hollow, so this is for Robert. This is a poem written by Duke Tritton. Duke was a powder monkey on the Sandy Hollow line during the Great Depression of the 1930s, a time in Australia's history when there were 50 men for every job. And as Duke points out in the poem, nothing was cheaper than men. The sun was blazing in the sky, and waves of shimmering heat glared down on the railway cutting. We were half dead on our feet, and the ganger stood on the back of the cut, and he snarled at the men below, "You'd better keep them shovels full, or all you cows will go." I've never seen such a useless mob. You'd make a fella sick. As shovel men, you're hopeless, and you're no good with a pick. There were men in that gang who could belt him with a hand tied to their back, but he had the power behind him. We dare not risk the sack. So we took our insults in silence, for this was a period when we lived in the Great Depression and nothing was cheaper than men. So we drove the shovels and swung the picks and cursed the choking dust. We'd wives and hungry kids to feed, so toil in the heat we must. And as the sun rose higher, the heat grew more intense. The flies were in their millions, the air was thick and dense. We found it very hard to breathe. Our lungs were hot and tight with the stink of sweating horses and the fumes of jelly night. But still the ganger drove us on. We couldn't take much more. We prayed for the day we'd get a chance to even up the score. A man collapsed in the heat and dust, was carried away to the side. Didn't seem to matter a damn if the poor chap lived or died. "He's only a loafer," the ganger said, "a lazy, useless cow. I was going to sack him anyway. Save him the trouble now." He had no thoughts for the hungry kids, no thoughts for a woman's tears as she struggled and fought to feed her brood all down the weary years. But one of the government horses fell down and died there in the dray. They hitched 2 horses to him and dragged his corpse away. The ganger was a worried man, and he said with a heavy sigh, "It is a bloody terrible thing to see a good horse die. You men will get back to work. Don't stand around loafing there. Get in and trim the batter down. I'll get the engineer." The engineer came and he looked around and he said as he scratched his head, "No horse can work in this dreadful heat. Soon they'll all be dead. They're much too valuable to lose. They cost us quite a lot. And I think it is a dreadful shame to work them while it's hot. We'll take them to the creek and spell them in the shade. You men must all knock off at once. Of course you won't be paid." And as we plodded to our camps, it seemed to our weary brains we were no better than convicts, though we didn't wear the chains. And in those dreary depression days, we were unwanted men, but we knew that when a war broke out, we'd all be heroes then, and we'd be handed a rifle and forced to fight for the swine who tortured us and starved us on the Sandy Hollow line. That's